Hola chicos y chicas, ¿cómo estáis? This is the introduction to the playlist Spanish for Beginners. As the name suggests, we are going to start from scratch. So, the first video here is Hola, me llamo Jorge. And the videos are normally short and to the point. So, 42 videos altogether. We start with just the basics. If we move to the next one, for example, is Lección uno, mucho gusto, encantado. Mucho gusto is nice to meet you. Encantado is enchanted or delighted. If we keep going down on the list, we have the alphabet in Castilian and Latin American versions. Como te apellidas was your surname. Then we come to the numbers. We go numbers 0 to 10 in both versions, numbers 11 to 20 in both versions. ¿Qué número tiene Pedro? Lección 4. ¿Y cuántos años tiene Antonio? They are both class exercises. So if you're a colleague, very welcome to use it. The essentials like los saludos en español, buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches. ¿Cuántos años tiene Pedro? Let's have a look at this. Este es Pedro. Now, this is a control listening exercise. And the reason why I'm calling it controlled is because I am reading a script and I am being very careful not to give students things that might distract them. This is about practicing what's been done in class. Lección 6 or lesson 6 and lesson 7 again is about professions. Lesson 7 is an interesting one because it's about nationalities. We teach students nationalities such as Espanol, English, Scottish, and of course, at one point, they will have to introduce themselves. So from a very early stage, I would like to encourage students to say, Hola, me llamo, soy de. So making the language real, making the foreign language real, in this case, Spanish, and start talk about themselves, talk about the nationality, where they're from, etc. Lesson 7, de dónde es Antonio, where is Antonio from, again, is extra practice, an extension to keep talking about nationalities. This is an interesting one, and I really like it. Like, de dónde trabaja la chica? What does the girl work? Listen to it.
Hola, soy Larisa, tengo 25 años, vivo en la Ciudad de México y trabajo como bartender en un hotel. Saludos.
Now, I am very lucky to have this particular video here because even though the grammar is basic, this girl speaking at normal speed, she's not reading a script and she's talking about herself, and it's all true. So these are jewels, in my opinion, and it's the same for Carlos.
Me llamo Carlos, soy veterinario de Carlitos, soy de Granada, llevo casi 20 años viviendo en el Reino Unido. Gracias. Gracias.
And Héctor.
Hola amigos, me llamo Aitor, soy de Tenerife, tengo 27 años y vivo en Leiden. Llevo aquí 2 años y estoy haciendo un pequeño reportaje para mi amigo Tim. Espero que os guste y aprendan mucho a hablar español.
Y Ainhoa.
Hola, me llamo Ainhoa y soy de Bilbao, del el norte de España. Vine a Inglaterra cuando tenía 18 años.
So as you can see, one of the things that's important to me as a teacher is to expose students to native speakers speaking at normal speed without reading a script and different accents. I think that is important from the beginning. So here we have so far someone from Mexico, someone from Granada, someone from Tenerife, and someone from Bilbao. So different accents from the beginning. And of course, there's two things really. On the one hand, just to clarify, the teacher needs to be consistent depending on who is the student or the students, and but the exposure to a variety of accents is important from the beginning. If we carry on here, lesson 8 is about learning members of the family, the padre, madre. And then a bit of grammar in lesson 9, the Saxon genitive, the apostrophe S. Ana Iglesias Cruz y la familia Fuentes, these are listening comprehension exercises, reading by me, just to point out to the important bits. Because of course, native speakers speak freely, but sometimes it could be a distraction as well. So it's a balance. It's a balancing act, and the teacher, the class teacher, is the manager, is to manage all these, to create an environment of learning the students to be aware of the accents, but equally the students need to just be consistent in one accent, the accent they need. Let's continue. If we move on to lesson 10, Familia, Ciudad y Profesiones, that's a nice one. And as the name suggests, it will be a listening comprehension, and they will need to remember the members of the family, and awareness of Spanish cities, and let's see if they remember professions. It's almost like a test at the end of the unit. If we carry on, more numbers, all the way to 115. Brutes. Lesson 16 is, again, a nice listening comprehension exercise that combines personal information and food and drink. Lesson 17, page 23, is another very good listening exercise. Even though they are voice actors, there is background noise trying to recreate what happens in the real world. Lesson 18, El Bar Miguel. I read this, and it is about checking progress, checking the learning of vocabulary and grammar. Lesson 20, fruit and drink. Lesson 21, Spanish vowels. So we just demonstrate how Spanish vowels sound. So A, E, I, O, U. We say it slowly, we isolate the sounds. One that confuses students normally is E and I, because in Spanish, E is E and I is E. So it takes time to get used to it. And just to end this, lesson 23, es y está, is explained all in Spanish using gestures and objects. And we're going to finish with Ainhoa. I would like you to listen to all she's got to say, because as I said before, in my opinion, it is very important to listen to native speakers with the features of spoken Spanish, with false starts, with hesitation and elision. And, you know, if you're interested in that, you can just go to YouTube or Google and put features of spoken Spanish, just to be aware of, you know, this journey, the Spanish learning journeys. It can be whatever you want it to be. You just want to learn a few phrases, for your holidays in Benidorm. This will help you. If you want this to be the beginning of your journey, that's fine. If you want this to be the beginning of a in-depth learning of Spanish, it would also be a very good starting point. Listen to Ainhoa.
Oaxaca 20. Trabajo para Kidslingo, así que soy profesora de español para niños pequeñitos hasta los 7 años y vivo en el sur de Inglaterra, al lado de o cerca de Southampton. Un saludo a todos, que tengáis buen día. Adiós.
And that is all for now. I hope you found this useful. Feel free to ask any questions or write any comments, and I will do my best to reply to all of them. Muchas gracias. Adiós.